Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Excited.
Why?
Because we are going to drink today a very special wine. I'm getting used to these generosos.
Slowly but surely, we are showing you the light.
Yes.
Stop mucking around with, I like champagne and bubbles. Nonsense. Join us.
My plan is to make a sparkling Fino.
That'll be quite interesting. Anyway, welcome back. One day more
Yes.
to the YouTube Live Madrid and Daracot tastings.
Yes.
And we are
Welcome.
now, this is the halfway point in our box. Hello, Dad's already arrived as usual. To our enormous...
But more than ever, welcome you.
Okay, to our enormous Sunday audiences that we usually have. Bit of housekeeping. As always, we go through the basics of what we're doing. So we will be trying a wine today. And with our box, at the end of every month, there's Eva, como que no? Our super friends. At the end of every month, we will be, or the start of the next box, we will do a lottery. And we'll pick names out of a hat and you can win a prize. So, what do they have to do if they want to win our prizes?
Well, I have to make a picture of the bottle we are tasting today. Just tag our name, the name of the shop, Madrid Daracot.
Is that the name of the shop? Madrid Daracot. Right?
Madrid and Daracot, but the social networks, Instagram, for example, is Madrid Daracot.
Very important.
Okay, do not confuse our audience, please. And tag us, and well, when you do it, you are already in
the running for the prize.
Yes.
And at the end of the month, we will do a sort of a random selection, and those of you who've been the best listeners and the best drinkers will win. And what are they going to win?
They have the chance to
Oh my God. To destroy my shop. 1, 2,
2
und 1, 2, 3 wines.
Yes.
Oh, almost. There you go.
This is the family of Matsu wines, Toro wines that can be yours ready for this Christmas time.
Hey, hang on, what if I put my face there?
You are the very old and rare.
I'm like the friend of the son who's visiting from England.
No, you could be the friend of the old man.
Hey, this guy, this is amazing. So yes, for those of you who don't know, you might recognize these are wines from Toro, nice, juicy, big Tempranos, the young wine, the middle-aged one, and the really old, fancy ones. And you can win the whole set of all three. They're really very good wines. Some people either look at the labels and go, "I love it." Some people go, oh, "Are these good?"
Well, the thing is that they are not. They are really good, actually. The young is young. The young is young, and youth is youth. But the middle one and the old one are really good.
This is 6 months in oak, nice roble style. This one's 14 months in oak, classic kind of, just a bit more than a Crianza style. This one's only 16 months, it's not that much longer, but they make it only in select years with the best crops, the most highly selected grapes, and 15% alcohol. You're welcome. So if you want to try and win that, take photos every time we do a tasting, hashtag, whatever, Madrid Daracot. We'll put you on the list.
Yeah.
And then
So if you have joined the whole box of November, you have 6 chances to be in the contest. Remember, within the month. Okay.
Don't send this in December.
Yes, in December 2023.
Oh, let me get this out of the way. Oh, okay. Right. What are we drinking today? I'm very excited, and we all know why.
Well, we are in your field. This is your field.
Welcome to the new unboxing, the YouTube unboxing.
That's the most special bottle we have had in the shop.
Should I take it out of the box?
Yes, of course.
I wanted to show this is how it comes to you people. So for those of you watching at home, this is some fancy pants stuff. I can't open it. There we go.
You and your sausage fingers.
Yeah. Chop them and fry them. Look at this!
Luke has the hands of a
Birmingham butcher, I know.
That's what I wanted to say.
I've learned my insult. The bombilla. We'll talk about why in a minute. And you can see it's been nice and cold because this is a
yes.
wine.
I hope you have chilled it properly. Otherwise, stop. Do not open. And watch this tasting tomorrow.
This is really different. It's very hard to elegantly open. I think it's a screw top.
First question. Whoa. First question. Why a bulb?
Well, why not? So this winery is one of my favorite wineries in Spain, and we'll talk about some of the other wines they have later because they are insanely good. I still have my one at home. You drank your one. Hang on, how do I open this thing? There you go.
Sounds like a bulb.
So ridiculous.
Have you broken it?
No.
This
Anyway,
can take the whole night. Okay.
shoddy Andalusian. So if anyone else has had this problem at home, that's how you open it. This warehouse, not warehouse.
Actually, this is the real cork.
That's the real stopper, yeah.
Stopper.
The winery is actually housed in the old, well, you call it a central eléctrico, like the power station grid.
Power station, yeah.
Where
power
they,
generator.
yeah. So where the
generations.
electricity is made and sold around. So when that was, finished, Toro Albalá, which is this winery, it's from 1922, lovely old classic winery, they set up shop in this big warehouse. So in honor of the nickname given to this style of wine, which is a fino, we'll talk about that later, the locals used to call it El Fino Eléctrico, the electric fino, because it was in the old electric plant, and it's a very kind of, an electric wine. So to honor their roots, they put it now in a created, but back then they used to sell it in a bulb, and so that's why it says Eléctrico on the front, and it's sold in a bulb. I think it's probably the best packaging in Spain.
Yes.
It's really cool.
But also they
Really-
take very seriously all the packagings, because we have had their little petacas.
Go and get the box. Oh, it's
already
arrived.
here. It's already here.
Somebody
Ah.
bought everything the other day. Let me pour this out. So these guys make some very old wines, and there's not much of it left from a long time ago. So what they've done is they've housed all of these wines in little petacas, these little small glasses. Look at this, little small vials, like fancy potions. Don't drop that. These are their very old sweet wines. We'll talk about, you can already see, savvy wine lovers will see the letters PX, which is the grape they use for all their wines, Pedro Jimenez. But look at this.
Oh my god.
Now let me show you, I'll take one. Where's the oldest one? Hang on.
Yeah?
No.
No.
Where?
That one, yeah.
Just look at the date on that. 1931, for goodness sake. Was that before the Segunda República, no?
There was the Segunda República,
What are
actually.
we doing here?
68.
68, 55, 1980, 1973. These are what I think my mum will probably want for Christmas. Very old wines. Again, we'll talk more about the winery and their wines in a bit, but their marketing is very on point, and these are special wines, and this is a special wine, ergo special
You can
packaging.
buy the petacas separately or the whole box.
Like the
as
American
someone
did the other
last
day.
week.
So basically, Toro Albalá is an old school sort of winery in Andalusia. Again, we'll talk about all of this now. Go and get the tasting sheet.
Oh,
I left it there for you. It's just the Sunday tastings are always more shambolic. My dad just goes, yes, you would. So before we talk about it, already in the first 7 minutes, it's been like, look at this, look at that, what is going on? Before we do any of the explanations about what the hell is going on here, let's go through our homework.
okay. Vino, Fino, Eléctrico. Vintage?
No vintage.
Why? What happened here? Oh, I want my vintage.
Where's my year? Just like in various regions around the world, we literally did a podcast. You can listen to it.
Talking about this.
About non-vintage wines. Same in sherry, same in Huelva, same in Rueda with Dorado wines, same in champagne, same in port. These are blended wines from year to year, so you don't have a vintage. Again, we'll talk about the process later, but there's no vintage, so you can go NV, no vintage or
Yeah.
non-vintage.
Grapes, Pedro Jimenez. But wait. Pedro Jimenez is a dark, sweet wine.
Not always. More on that later.
Alcohol content,
Yes.
more than
What?
ever.
15.
15.
It's still a fino style, so it's 15%.
Okay, 15%. Be careful.
Or not.
Producer Toro Albalá.
One of my
And
favorites.
region Montilla Moriles.
Where the hell is that?
Montilla Moriles. Montilla Moriles is a beautiful.
There's no sherry then?
No, well, Montilla Moriles is here. It's Córdoba area. Not to be confused with Sherry,
Which is nearby,
which
but
is
not that one.
Cádiz.
Again, we'll
Well,
talk.
nearby. It's like 2 hours by car.
So, of course, after this, Roque will give us his fun facts.
Yeah.
But we're in Andalusia here.
Yes. So, Montilla Moriles.
Now, fase visual, the visual phase, very pale. Pale, sort of straw gold. It's not a dark wine. It looks more yellowy in the
Almost
in
has
the
no
bowl.
color.
It's very pale.
Yes.
That's generally what the Fino looks like. It looks like a white wine. It is a white wine. But yeah, nice. It's really clean, really crisp, kind of shiny. But anyway, now.
Aromas.
Yes.
Intensity, like a punch in the face.
It's punchy, but it's not too yeasty and like some of the Finos. It's still kind of fruity. If anyone has the wine on them right now, if anyone has the wine on them, what can you smell? I know we haven't.
Yes,
got-
what can you smell? Because, we are in another completely different field, the generosos style, the fortified wines style. And the aromas can be completely different. So what do you think about the aromas of this wine? What do you get here? What do you get here? It's filled.
So you definitely have, and we'll talk about why, a bready, toasty, kind of, I guess, yeastiness. The ones from Montilla have a touch of, they're kind of floral still, and a bit saline, a bit salty.
It's horrible, but I get almonds.
Yeah, this is lovely kind of, sort of white nuts. And for me, with this one, genuinely a bit of fruitiness. Fruitier.
Fruitier than
yeah,
other
yeah.
finos, Fabio says.
Is it called Fino 3 Fases because of something in its process, or as a commentary on the 3-phase power system?
The trifásico system?
Yeah, it's the electricity thing. This is there's no process here. Apple, yeah, Duncan, nice, apple. Which is also an aroma you often get in young Pedro Jimenez.
Bakery.
Yeah. And it is aromatic, but it's not too punfante, it's not too pungent. Like some of the finos from Jerez are a lot more like, woo, this, and some of the ones from here as well. Torre Albalá, it's kind of, I always say, if you told somebody who didn't know about these kind of wines and thought sherry was always sweet, if you gave this to somebody and said, oh, this is a white wine from Rioja and it's a Biura fermented in an oak barrel, they'd probably believe you, because it doesn't scream, it's really stinky. It's kind of easier than a lot of other finos.
It's very elegant.
Fabio, rubbery. Hey man, if you get rubber, you get rubber. He's out of control.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So,
But not today.
no, he's
A
fine.
long time ago.
Long time ago when he was born.
Well, let's go to the tasting phase. That is gross, look.
Hello, Sally.
I got some salty taste here.
It's like salty nuts. Don't make a joke. It's like salty nuts. At the back of the palate, you get those more bready. No, sorry, it's more about the mid. It's on the mid palate. Sorry, what a twat. It's actually on the mid palate. It's on the mid palate, just right in the middle of your tongue. You get that salty, nutty breadiness. No, the fruitiness is not there. This is now a nice yeasty fino. Again, we'll talk about why we're saying yeasty and things in a minute. But anyone else? Yes, it's got a nice bitterness to it. I always find these finos, all of the generosos from the south, have a very pleasing amargor.
It's time to go to your kitchen, take some olives, fry some fish.
Dad, go fry some fish.
Or mojama,
Yeah.
some cheese, cured cheese,
Cured cheese.
Iberian ham. Is it time?
Or if you're not in Spain, Serrano ham.
Almonds, fried almonds.
Oh, fried almonds, yeah. Salted fried almonds.
Yeah, it's the moment to that aperitif moment. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Well, why
What
don't
else?
we talk about
Hang on.
how?
Hang on. All the rest of your stupid things.
Okay, so
Temperature. Temperature, nice
Come on.
and cold. Nice and cold.
Balance, super balance, and finish longer than your life. Yeah.
So not very long.
Pairing, as we said,
This is a perfect tapas wine. It goes with everything.
it goes with tapas, but can you have a lunch with it? Or, I mean, is the wine for a dinner as well?
Depends what you're eating. So, a bit of context about why I was happy to put this in. Because originally we were going to do this earlier, but then we realised it was Sherry Week.
Yeah.
So we had a week of tastings in honour of the best wine in the world, sherry. No debate, it is the best wine in the world, so shut up. But this is not a sherry. And these guys have their hashtag, el otro lugar, the other place. But the same idea with sherry, you have a whole... Can you pass me the Vinos de Jerez thing?
Yeah, sure.
You have a whole... There's one under... Yeah. You have a whole... It's very nice in Spain. They have un abanico de vinos. They have a whole flurry. Now, you can use sherry in the same way you use Montilla Moriles. Now, this is Vinos de Jerez, but the same applies. You have all of these... Where are you? Fat hands! You have all of these styles, you see? Manzanilla, there's the abanico de sensaciones. Manzanilla, we don't have here. But those ones, fino, amontillado, oloroso. Those are the three words you need to know. And palo cortado, but those three, fino, amontillado, and oloroso. You see the different colours there. These wines, when people say, I like sherry, it's like, okay, which one? It's a family, it's a style thing. Roque will tell me when I can start talking about the process, but you can have a whole meal from starters to main courses to desserts using these wines. Those wines we just showed you, those fancy ones, are so sweet.
Yes.
So profound. So like...
So drink history.
I have one, which I'm too scared to finish because I don't want to finish it, from 1937.
Yes.
Because I am fascinated by the Civil
Smells
War.
gunpowder.
It smells of gunpowder and freedom. The
I
fight
got
for liberation.
1929.
Yeah, yours was the oldest.
Yes.
That
I
was-
finished. I finished already. Yes, I mean, why not?
No, but what I don't.
Why should I?
But I have this image of you in your underpants watching a TV show with Danny. How did you have it? Was it something special? Were you
Yes.
Did
I was celebrating.
you drink it out of the petaca?
I was, I was celebrating my pre-birthday lunch
That's fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. And was it amazing?
with Mr. Bilgen.
Dilgamush, who didn't buy this box. If you're watching, we hate you now. But did they enjoy it as much as we did?
Yeah, I mean, anyone should be impressed with a 1929 wine in your glass.
See, now my mum is going to be like, I want a 1925 wine or you're not coming home for Christmas. So yes, very good for food. Nice and cold.
Well, the glass is not. I mean, all the this kind of fortified wines are drunk in
Stupid little glasses.
Yeah, stupid little glasses. Is that for keeping the temperature? Because normally are cold, hot regions.
I think it's a cultural thing because when you are trying the wines in these wineries, well,
I have a picture here.
I love
of
him.
The owner of the winery.
De la Fuente.
Yes.
And this Antonio, look at that man.
And he's carrying one of those glasses.
Zoom in more on the glass.
Yes, I'm
and
gonna do
his
that.
amazing sunglasses that he always wears I think he's called Antonio. He's one of my wine heroes because that's what I want. Oh, look at him! This is what I want to look like when I'm when I'm 400 years old like him. That's how I want to look. So that glass he's holding is what we call a catavinos glass, which is what you use.
This picture was taken in 1929, actually.
Yes, 1829. We use these glasses in the wineries down there to test the wine. That's what's called catavinos, wine testing glass. The traditional ones down there are a little bit smaller than the ones that, like, for example, Fabio and I, we did the wine qualifications. They're a little bit bigger. And fine. If you're just sampling a wine quickly, it's fine enough. But this is to drink it. So I took the executive decision to put it in the biggest, big buggering glasses that we have because they're very aromatic and you want to...
Should we talk a little bit?
Does it taste a bit of brandy? Depends what brandy you have.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's actually it's not
Fabio says he's 34 years old.
in the picture.
Yeah. I personally don't get brandy, but it has that...
But actually, there is a brandy that you get from sherry wines.
Brandy was
de Jerez.
invented in sherry lands.
Yeah, so-
French, to be fair, do it. I can't believe I'm
The
saying
cognac.
this. They do it really well. Cognac and Armagnac, but they're much more expensive. But Brandy de Jerez. So maybe it's something in the grape that is recalling brandy.
Do you think it's time to talk about the winery now?
Yeah, cool
little bit.
logo. Yeah.
Well, that's Toro Albalá. This is the winery we are drinking today. It's one of the oldest wineries of the region.
Yeah, I mean,
1922. Actually, it's older than the official designation of the region was created. That was 1932.
yeah. So it was only a couple of years after Jerez. So this is the thing. Well, before I talk, let me just pour myself some more wine. Because I played badminton today. I deserve it. First time in.
That's something that I totally don't yet understand. What have you been doing for playing badminton today?
What do you mean?
I mean, how do you end up playing badminton?
Well,
Was it an accidental?
I go to a sports centre and I pay money and play it. Oh, I
Okay.
see. Very funny. With my hands. No, that was my sport growing up, and I was very good. Not like in the garden in Spain with your grandma.
You won, of course.
Me and the Spanish guy were the best. But it's very good.
Luke Darraker always win. He's a naturally born winner.
That's what I tell myself in the mirror every morning.
Whiner.
I'm actually born a whiner. Yeah. So Toro Albalá is, I mean, it's in this beautiful village, Aguilar de la Frontera. This is so Andalusia, near Cordoba, and they're one of the old school ones. But you know, whether you're modern or you're new, this is smaller and less powerful, but as historically important as Jerez. Now, the wineries in Jerez, due to their fame, due to the link with the sea, and the link with Britain as a result, they're the ones who have all the fame. So I was joking with the El Otro Lugar, the other place, but that is a movement because they're very much the same. We're two sides of the same coin. Do you mind if I talk about the process?
Well, no,
Or-
I think everything is about the process today.
Okay, so because Fabio's asking me as well. Now, Toro Albalá, as well as being a beautiful, 1920s winery with that amazing guy in charge and the cool, I think it's like a Roman logo.
Yes, it has
Um,
like a yes.
Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it looks old school because, as per usual in these areas, these are old Roman part of Spain, Cordoba in the south, towards Malaga and Sevilla and stuff. Anyway, all of the southwest of Spain, even though I'm obsessed with sherry, I love it all. And you'll find in Spain it's the pejorative part of the country which has fortified wines. Now, we'll get into that in a moment, but they're not all fortified all the time. In Spain, there's a lovely word, vinos generosos, generous wines, which I presume is because of all the alcohol. They're very generous in here. Sherry is the king. Then next door you have a place called Condado de Huelva, around the town of Huelva, where I was with my parents a couple years ago. There's a little small town of Lebrija, Lebrija, which has one winery. You have Sierras de Malaga, the Malaga area, which makes sweet usually, but fortified moscatels. And then you have Montilla Moriles. There's lots of these amazing fortified wines going on down here. Montilla Moriles is arguably like the little sister of Jerez. It's the second in charge. Jerez has all the power in the lights. Everyone loves it. Then we go down, but they all make the same kind of wines. Now, the process is on one hand a bit complicated if it's your first time. So if it is your first time, willkommen. If not, if you know how sherry is made, it's the exact same process, but just with a different grape and some little tweaks. As Roque said, the grape is Pedro Jimenez. All of the wines fortified, whether they're dry finos, whether they're nutty amontillados and olorosos, whether they're insanely sweet early 17th century PXs, they're all the same grape. Whereas in sherry, the more famous bigger brother, bigger sister, it's Palomino for the dry ones. Okay, but whatever. Any grape can make sweet wine or dry wine. In this case, we're making dry alcoholic wine. So what you do is you plant the grapes in the lovely soil over there, which is very similar to Jerez, what they call albariza soil, very chalky, very pale, sort of shimmering land, which acts as a big sponge in those hot months to keep all the moisture in, and therefore be able to grow and not have a drought on your grapes. Now, what happens next is the same in both of these regions. You will have your new white wine that you made. If it's very, very elegant and fine, wink wink, and delicate, those wines will be destined to make a fino style, which is the same in Jerez, sherry, same in Montilla, the same in Huelva, fine. If your wine is a bit rougher, a bit less elegant, a bit more hearty, even though it's a white wine, a bit less polished, you'll use those to become olorosos. So, we're not going to worry about those other ones, the fino. What you would then do in Jerez, in sherry wines, this is one of the differences, is you fortify it. You take your little white wine, which is like 12% alcohol, and you fortify it to about 15%. The key difference, apart from the grape, is usually in Montilla Moriles, which is one of the hottest parts of the country. They actually have the earliest harvest in the country. It's like the end of August or something, possibly the first harvest of grapes in Europe, because it's hot as balls around Cordoba. There's a place called Écija, which they call the frying pan of Spain. You naturally, therefore, in a grape called Pedro Jimenez, which always and already has a lot of sugar, you get even more sugar. So you don't have to fortify Montilla Moriles fino.
As you have to do in sherry.
Exactly, that's a key difference. So it's naturally alcoholic as opposed to bumping it up. So it's generoso, but it's not encabezado, it's not fortified, which is a very important difference. Then, the same thing, apart from that, you carry on like sherry. You then put it in a barrel to make a fino. You don't fill the barrel completely. You leave about what they call dos puños, 2 fists, open to the air at the top of the barrel. And what happens is this layer of yeast forms called la flor, the flower. Boom. Look at that synergy. And what that layer does, which is pretty disgusting, it looks like waxy bread. What that layer you're looking at does there, that protects the wine underneath. This wine you're drinking is white wine by the colour. But the wine you're drinking is about 5 years old on average. But you're like, hang on a minute, a 5-year-old white wine? Yeah, because that yeast will protect it. And if you zoom in, you'll see it's quite thick. It will also, therefore, do another thing. It will flavour your wines, which is why you have this yeasty, toasty pungency, which, like Roque said, sometimes it can smell like almonds and like nutty kind of stuff. Then we get even more complicated. Now, I don't know if we have a picture of this solera on this thing here. Let me just double check. Bear with me. Yes. Okay, so if you turn to page 5, and you can see that's a classic picture from down here. Now, imagine you had, instead of 3, you had 5, rows of that. Levels, filas. This is where it gets a bit complicated, but if you actually think about it, basically it's not too complicated. There are these, let's say you have 5 levels of barrels, okay? The wine that you're going to put into bottles or into bulbs that year, you will take from that bottom level, which is sitting on the ground. And the ground... El suelo.
Vino de solera.
Exactly. So the word solera, which is the system, is from the suelo. So you will empty your barrel.
Or you take the wine from those barrels.
From those bottom ones, yeah.
Okay.
And you will leave...
What's going on in the other ones? In the other levels, what's happening?
We'll get that.
I want my answer.
These are insane Spanish people, making it complicated. I remember when Fabio and I did the wine qualification a couple of years ago, and there was a Scottish guy, and he went, "What the bloody hell are Spanish doing?" Anyway, so you will empty the barrel, but you leave about 1/3 left in the barrel, okay? And then you put that in the bottles, you send it to the shops, and then people like me and Roque drink it in front of you.
Yeah.
Problem is, you're then missing some wine in that bottom level. So you go 1 level up to what they call the first nursery, the primera criadera, okay? And you take a 3rd down. So you're filling the one underneath. But then you're missing wine in that first layer. So you go to the 2nd one and take a 3rd down. And then the 3rd one, you take from the 4th one. You keep blending down out of the bottom, and that new wine, which they call the mosto yema, the young must, you put into whatever the top barrel is. So it's what they call fractional blending.
So they are mixing blends.
It's a non-vintage.
They are mixing vintages, right?
Non-vintage wine, baby.
Oh my God, that's why there's no one near here.
Yeah. And what that means is, this is where for me the romantic side of this wine comes out. If you're never emptying a barrel, and let's say these guys started in 1922,
somehow you are drinking some molecules of 1922.
Yeah, and that's romantic. As long as that solera system has been in effect, none of the barrels have been emptied, and so you're drinking history. Now, this is a Fino.
That's very romantic,
yeah.
And probably that's why you are single.
Yeah, among many other reasons. But what that means is this fractional blending, as well as creating a non-vintage wine, creates a very complex wine. And this wine, on average, again, these are all average ages. Generally, the Finos, the Bombilla, the bulb ones, the Eléctrico, they spend about 5 years going through the system. So you're drinking about a 5-year-old white wine. And then there are other styles, which we were not going to go into today. If you want to hear more about how the other styles work, Amontillado, Oloroso, go to our YouTube page and watch my half-an-hour passionate speech about Jerez and sherry, because it's the same process. But today we're just going to focus on Fino. So it has had what we call crianza biológica, biological aging.
Isn't it special, this wine? I mean, all sherry wines and all Montilla Moriles wine are, all the Generosos are.
I think
it's very special.
It's the most special and romantic wine of Spain. It's not for everybody, I understand that. It's more complicated. If you've never had it, and not this one, this is actually easier, but if I give you like a rustic Fino from Jerez, and you go, what's
like
happening?
Tio Pepe is like, boom.
What's happening with my white wine? Yeah. But I always find with these wines, once it gets under your skin, it becomes the best. All of the best chefs, all of the best cocktail makers, all of the best masters of wine, they understand it.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's hard to find sherry at home, and even harder to find, impossible to find Montilla.
Is it difficult to find sherry or Montilla Moriles in your country?
You'll find the sweet ones. You will. If anyone is watching, or dad, if you're there, I don't think you're ever going to find Montilla Moriles in England. Unless you go to a very specialist shop. But
the thing is that in 2019, the production of Montilla Moriles was not bad at all. 24 million liters.
It's productive. Yeah, it's productive.
24 million liters is a few glasses of wine, but only the 8% of the production went abroad.
8%.
Only the 8%.
That's so small.
Yeah.
Well, do you want another fun fact?
Please.
My fun fact.
Okay.
So that means
how is fun?
Well, so 92% is here. I'm betting good money a lot of that is not Denominación de Origen Montilla, because there's a historic agreement between Jerez, so sherry, and Montilla, that Montilla Moriles, in their fantastic tierras, their lands, which are perfect for the grape Pedro Jimenez, they grow the grapes there, and they sell it, they transport it to Jerez, where Jerez can then make the famous Pedro Jimenez of sherry, even though the grapes are probably from Montilla. That's mad. Unless you're spending a lot of money, your Pedro Jimenez is probably
classic Andalusia.
Classic bloody Andalus.
It's
my dad says was the PX Mr. Jeffries gave mum. Yes, that was the PX, but his was a Jerez sherry, because his book is called Sherry. But I'm sure Julian Jeffries knows Montilla as well.
Well, as we said before, Montilla is located in the south of Cordoba. It's the weather there is classic Mediterranean style.
But really hot.
It's really hot. I mean, if you've been in Cordoba in summertime,
it's hot. It's the worst of Spain.
It's really hot.
But it still has the humidity, like
warm,
you say, from the coast.
long, dry summers, super short winters.
Forget about rain.
I mean, the average temperature
400 degrees
is around 17,000
degrees.
17 degrees.
Year round,
Yes,
17. It's pretty nice.
16, 17.
Yeah.
There is also the soil is very important in these lands. Also,
I mean, I mentioned it and you just weren't listening.
Yes, I know. What's the name again of the soil? Albariza, that's right.
which has one of my favorite Spanish words.
It's like a
calcárea.
It's like a sponge.
Yeah, it's without that in Jerez and Monti, without that soil, this wouldn't be possible. And do you want to know another fun fact? Where do you think in Europe the most similar soil is to Jerez and Cordoba?
In your country, in
No.
Maidenhead.
Whoa!
No, sorry, that's not Europe anymore.
True. Continental Europe. Yes and no. The correct answer is Champagne, but also the southeast of England.
Oh, really?
It's the same, not quite, but it's the most similar. This very limestoney white soil. It's just even whiter and more close to the surface.
It would be fun.
So what I'm trying to say is your sparkling Fino could be a thing.
Yes.
Appellation contrôlée Montilla-Moriles.
Well, the Pedro Jimenez is not the only white variety allowed.
Yeah.
Aiden, Baladí, Moscatel, Torrontés,
But not
Chardonnay,
for these kind of
Sauvignon,
wines.
not for these kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
wines. Macabeo and Verdejo, because they're
That's a lot, actually. Sauvignon Blanc.
regular, white wines of this region.
What the hell is Baladí?
Baladí is a grape.
Yeah, I know, but what is it? Have you ever seen that?
No, I've never.
I'm going to find myself. I want to find a Montilla-Moriles
For our rare
for our Weird Grapes podcast.
weird grapes.
Now, do we have any other wines from this region in our shop?
Yes, we have. We have the plain white, the Pedro Jimenez
From the
Dos
same
Claveles from the same winery.
Because I think we did it on our. I know.
Actually, we did in one of the lockdown tastings.
I believe, because I put it on the system, there's a photo of it, which you can put now live. Go on.
Are you sure?
Find the image. Go to the. Let's go. That's it.
Oh, it's
Press
here.
Press the thing.
You're putting too much
not
pressure
that
on
one,
me.
Not yes, but no.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
So, during our online, during our tastings, we
You don't
had
want to
this.
see our computer is crazy now.
There we go.
Okay.
So yes, you did your job really well. Dos Claveles. Now we put this in our during the confinement back in March and April time. This is one of the wines we had because we did this to show the real unsuspected face of Pedro Jimenez, which is we always think it's sweet, and then you go to these kind of wines and you think, oh wow, this is a Fino made with Pedro Jimenez, but then you're still thinking, okay, yeah, it's still sherry style wines. But as we saw with Dos Claveles, which is the one just up there, you can also make normal, quite fragrant, floral, appley, as Duncan said earlier, normal table white wines with Pedro Jimenez. It's a very versatile grape. It just lends itself very well to sweet wines because of the high levels of sugar, and to fortified wines because it just works quite well. So yes. Your father asked which PX were crying out loud. I don't remember. I'll find it. It was very old and crusty, just like Julian Jeffs.
What is the price of this wine?
I think it's 15-ish, around 15, I think. Now, I think it is worth. Should we be honest with people, or not? Or is honesty not the best policy
What do you mean?
about prices and wines and this wine?
Well, you're paying for the packaging as well.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more expensive than the normal one, which is in a generic, quite not very attractive bottle. And they were like, look, just if you pay a little bit more, you get the special
You get this
edition.
fancy bottle.
So for the extra, whatever it is, not much money, I would prefer this one. But yeah, it's about €15. Montilla-Moriles, there's not that. Do you know how many wineries there are? I don't know.
Yes, I have that.
I'm going to guess.
info.
Let me guess.
Okay, I know.
I'm going to try and guess.
I get that.
I'm going to hope I'm right. I think it's going to be less than you think. I'm going to say, looking at the map, not looking at the screen, looking by the size, 40.
50.
Okay, that was close. I knew it was going to be less. So Madrid has 55.
Yes.
And Madrid has been here since 1990.
It's very. I mean,
This
the
is
production is
19
concentrated in 50 wineries, 24 million liters of wine. It's not bad.
It's pretty good. I mean, this is the thing. The Pedro, some of these hot regions, you think, oh, it must be hard to grow a grape. Not necessarily. Pedro Jimenez loves this area for growing.
Yeah, I'm looking for.
It's very hard for me to stop drinking this.
The right temperature of this wine. Cold, right?
Really cold. It's cold as you like. I mean, Fino and Manzanilla, you want them nice. So really, I should put this back in the fridge. But you want it super crisp, super cold.
I've been talking today with my sister, and she
I just missed
told
my
me
nose.
an anecdote. One of the most remarkable drunk nights she had in her lives was with Fino.
Oh, really?
Drinking Fino. It's a dangerous wine. It's fortified. It's dangerous.
I can speak from experience. It is. Well, I don't know. I think I always take more. I think because I respect, how to put it, because I value these kind of wines more, I don't go, it's so easy in Spain to sit on a terraza and go, another red, another Rioja, just keep ba-ba-da-ba-da. But with these wines, I actually sort of enjoy them more.
Yeah.
So I actually go
It's like
slower.
Slow drinking.
But yeah.
And also, it's a wine. This is not very politically correct, but I have to say, you can.
Careful, everyone, put your children away.
You can make a cocktail with Fino. It's called rebujito. It's called
Isn't that
rebujito.
Manzanilla?
Or you can do it with Fino.
You can, but wasn't the original? Where was it from
I
originally?
think it's with Fino.
I think it is with Fino,
I think it was with Fino.
and it is actually very
Rebujito
good.
is like 50-50. Is that 50-50?
I think ours was. It was very strong,
With 7-Up.
and a bit of lime.
And
mint.
Mint. And
Really
yerba
good.
buena. Oh,
It was really good.
that is dangerous.
Because I was prepared to hate it, and I was like, "This is amazing."
It was really good.
We did
So
it-
if you want to give it a twist to your wine,
When did we
you
do
can
that
make-
tasting? Last year?
Well, no, it was.
No, it was before the quarantine. 'Cause it was a drunken orgy downstairs. It was before the quarantine, I think. Early this
No,
year.
it was summer. This summer we had our special
True.
wine
that's right.
cocktails.
That's true. And it was amazing because we made
one
so
of
much.
those hot days here in Madrid, we said, well, let's make cocktails with wine.
right.
And Rebujito was one of them, and probably was the winner of that night.
I don't remember. I think we used. Oh, yeah.
We made Calimocho,
Red wine and Coke.
Calimocho, Rebujito, Agua de Valencia,
And a good sangria.
and a good Tinto de Verano.
Yes.
Tinto de
Tinto de
Verano, yeah.
Anyway, so what were we talking about?
So,
So yes, that's the process of the Fino. It's quite complicated, but once you understand what you're drinking, the wine makes a bit more sense. Now, impartial, don't think you have to lie. Do you like this?
I do like
You do, okay.
I like it. It's not my first. It's
not
not the
your
first
go-to.
wine that comes to my mind when I want a white, or when I go to a bar and I want to drink something or having an aperitif.
Yeah.
It's not, but every time I start to appreciate it more and more, and I like it.
I think
I like it.
It is-
I mean, it's not a wine for beginners.
no, it is a bit of an acquired taste. Now, we don't have any physical questions at the moment this week. Does anyone, because it's been a lot of questions in the chat, does anybody have any questions about this wine, this region, about Roque's hair products that he uses, about it's a joke, for your beard? Any questions at all?
You haven't seen me naked.
Yeah, but I feel I have. For the horrors that are going through my mind.
One
No.
day you will.
While people ask us lots of
Oh, you'll
questions,
be impressed.
ask questions, let's tell them about what the next tasting is going to be.
Well, that's going to be on next Wednesday,
And it's going to be amazing.
9:30. One of the best sellers of this shop. One of the most beautiful wines we have in the shop. The amazing whiskey barrel Toro wine Rodriguez and Sanzo.
18 months in whiskey.
18 months in whiskey barrels.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. That's going to be for Wednesday, so prepare your
Livers.
best, your best charcuterie, your best steaks.
Oh, or a really nice stew.
Yes.
Like a pisto with meat in it.
We should bring something that day to the tasting, you and I.
Don't know if you heard that, the dog agrees. Because tonight I'm going to make some fried tofu with rice.
Well,
I mean, I meant to go with the Fino because I'm taking this. I'm not wasting this on you.
okay.
So, while we're here, this is my turn to do this. This is where Roque usually says these things, but I'll have a go. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe.
Give us a like right
I'm not
now.
finished. Oh, yeah, and press the bell. We are currently watching. We've had 4 likes. Now that is pathetic. That is, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I want to see the like number go up a bit.
Okay.
Because it's Sunday night and I think we deserve it.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We used to have a life.
Yes. Not anymore,
Why did we open a shop?
but we love you.
6 likes. That's more like it. I like it. I want to see that hit 400. Kevin, 7. Good man. Because even though this is meaningless and society is doomed, it makes us feel better.
Well, we are going to have a great time next Wednesday as well because we are going to explore a new region for us, Toro, one of the classic, very, very classic regions for wine for...
Fans of big, sexy reds.
Yes. And this one is very well balanced. It's really good wine. Actually, this... Oh, whoa. Yes, by this week, by the end of the next week, it will be our 2nd anniversary.
Yes, we need to check the system right now.
Yes, we have to check the system.
No,
and
it's this Thursday, no?
it's going to be 2021. It's the celebration, it's the anniversary of Franco's death. Something like that.
Well, that should be...
We had that sixth sense
He's dead.
trying to
He's dead.
choose the date for opening the shop.
But I just told everybody last week that this week is our anniversary.
Yes.
So right now we need to check the best sellers.
And we will see which wines, because the last year we celebrated our 1st anniversary having a tasting with the best sellers of the shop.
And that was one of them.
And this wine was the top.
Yeah, regardless of price, we put the best sellers.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this year is gonna be as well. Probably
I hope
it's again
I hope
in
it's
the
not Carraveja. It's going to be a very expensive
Well,
But
thank
yeah.
you very much for being there.
I hope you had a very generous evening.
Drink this with. I mean, it should be.
Ooh, very important. This is very important because people always ask me. This is an alcoholic wine, but this is still a white wine. Okay, this will not last very long open, longer than a normal white wine. Make sure it's not open for much more than a week. So
Okay.
this is not like, oh, I can have this at Christmas. No, treat these white Finos and Manzanillas as if you would a slightly longer opened white wine. Would you have this wine with a meal? Fabio, just go back 20 minutes and you find the answer. We're literally trying to leave. He's like, what would you eat with this? Too late, Costa Rican. See you tomorrow. Right.
And but yeah, I mean, drink it carefully.
Or not, who cares? Just drink it and shut up and give me money.
And take care of yourselves. Enjoy life. Life is beautiful.
Have a lovely Sunday evening.
Yes. And what else? Nothing else.
Just be nice to people.
I see you on Wednesday.
Ciao.
Ciao.